Hey, Coach, just what were your overall thoughts on how y'all were able to pull it out at the end on the road?
I wish I could tell you. I would say clutch shots and a few defensive stops in a row. I went small with Iowa and Autumn. And I would say that last 4 or 5 minutes going small and just hitting clutch shots when the game was on the line.
Hey, Coach, what about Alexis Morris there in the fourth quarter? What did you think about her performance?
Alexis, actually, we went to the 1-4 low. It's just a little one-on-one action and trusted her. She said, Coach, I want to run red hot. That's what we call it. And we normally call that when it's 10 seconds or less on the shot clock. But, it was 4 or 5 minutes left to go in the game, and we weren't really in sync. And I thought, we were just pressing to do something of late. And I said, well, let that kid go. She wants to go one-on-one. So she did and made some clutch buckets for us right there.
Hey, Coach, Stefan Kushik here. I cover from the Mississippi State side of things. I noticed you had a bit of an exchange there with Doug Novak right at the end of the game. Can you share some of what was said between you guys and your thoughts on?
I told him Coach of the Year. The what he's doing, buddy, you ought to get Coach of the Year.
And what are your kind of observations on what he's been able to do at Mississippi State so far this year?
Well, you have probably the same observations. Just put in a difficult situation, lose a player that was the leading scorer in the SEC, and he keeps winning. And he's getting the most out of his team based upon their talents, and much respect.
Hey, Kim, this obviously wasn't the first time y'all had a close game that y'all ended up pulling out, maybe pulling away a little bit. What does that say about y'all's the experience factor on your team? And now they're playing, have had a whole season just about to play together. How is that coming into play?
Scott, as I told them after the game, I was not a very good coach tonight. And what they did on sheer will to win, sheer talent, and just making clutch plays. Wasn't anything I drew up. It wasn't any magical thing that was said in the timeout. And you know what? You have to win some of those that way sometimes. And talk to them about the position that they're in now. None of them in that locker room have been in this position. Well, what position is that? You're tied for second in the league. You got a chance to host the first and second round games potentially. You've won 22 basketball games, and sometimes kids can't handle the pressure of that. And I lay it out there for them, not to pressure them, but they're seniors. Some of them are fifth-year seniors in there, and you have to prepare them for what they're going to see. And as I told them, I've been doing this for 38 years at the highest level, and some of them have never been at this level this late in the year.
It's got time for a couple more questions with Matt and Jacques.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, playing on the road before, teams have gone on runs. Mississippi State obviously went on a run. How promising was that to see your team come together and kind of quell that run and pull out the win?
Well, as I told them, I don't know how we won this game other than just their will to win, just their will to not be afraid to take that shot. These seniors lost many games last year that they could have won. They were close games. And it's rewarding for me for them to now win those close games that they lost last year. And just stay the course and understand it's late in the year. And you've got one more on the road and 2 at home. And who knows what's lies ahead, but I do know that we have put ourselves in a position to do some good things here late.
Coach, you kind of mentioned it, but how is your team doing as far as handling being the hunted as opposed to the hunter? Listening to the game on the radio, that crowd was really dialed up to beat LSU, as opposed to maybe earlier in the year when you didn't have the ranking and the reputation.
There are a lot of things that, were unusual today. One, the late start. We've been sitting in a hotel all day, and it was supposed to be a 6 o'clock start. They started at 7:30 because of, I guess they thought it would be tornadoes or something. So, that was unusual. The crowd, I have to say, they were pretty, they were pretty vocal. Might be, honestly, the most vocal crowd that I have heard. I'd have to think back, at the beginning through the season, but I don't know. You could hear some of the things they were saying. You got to handle those things. I don't want anybody leaving that locker room with their head down or not happy. We won the game. And, it's part of it. It's part of growing. It's part of understanding. You're pretty good now. Isn't this fun? Down the stretch, isn't this fun? But along the way, you got to take constructive criticism too. You got to be able to handle constructive criticism. You got to be able to handle the challenge. You got to be able to remember the pats on the back. You got to be able to remember the compliments. This is the elite of the elite taking place right here late. And a lot of them have never been in that position before.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Hey, guys. Thank y'all.
Guys, we'll go at 1 o'clock tomorrow.